Welcome to episode 3 of White Belt Radio.
Episode 3, 3 years in. At this pace, we're doing an episode a year.
We've taken about a couple months off and we're back in action. We got Pete over here, that's me, blue belt. We got Cyrus.
Huh?
What's your belt?
Your mom's belt.
Okay. We got Yianni.
White belt.
White belt.
White belt.
And that's Tony.
Tony, white belt.
Cyrus is A.
I'm white belt too.
So I got rank in here.
I'm a white belt.
All right, cool, dude. All right, man. So what's been going on since the last episode?
Changed.
Not much has changed.
Still getting basketball.
Yeah, I'm still getting beat in tournaments.
Regular.
Yeah, last time we talked about how I was having a hard time in tournaments and how you were relating that to public speaking, and basically we just got to do it more, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was the point.
Cyrus, I have a question for you. Where the hell have you been? You're supposed to... When's the last time you trained?
Like a week ago.
When's the last time before that?
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, you're right.
So we trained together. Well, it's been a month and a half.
A month and a half off?
2 months, maybe.
All right.
Enjoying myself.
You got to get back to it.
Fuck you, man.
Okay. All right, we got a new white belt in the house. His name is Yianni. Say hello, Yianni.
What's up?
So,
How long have you been training?
yeah, how long have you been training?
I'm over 2 years now.
2 years.
Yeah, I've hit that, yeah.
It gets up there real quick.
Yeah, but it was like 4 months, I think I started, and then got this job.
Like how much actual training? Like without breaks? Like moving and changing?
Yeah, that's 2 years training.
Solid training?
So yeah. I took breaks in between, but they add up to a little over 2 years.
Was it at the same place?
No.
Oh.
Most of it was at my first gym, first year and a half. Been at like this new gym for like 6-7 months.
Okay, so that's got to account for a lot of the time, you know? Because, like, when you switch gyms, they don't want to, like, just jump
totally.
on
Yeah,
board and
totally.
throw you a new
Yeah.
belt,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I expect
You're
that.
basically starting.
And if I have to switch gyms again, which it might look like, then I'm gonna screw myself over.
Yeah, so it might be worth it to, like, wait and hopefully get one.
Well, I can't wait to get a job. I have to get the job.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's like wherever that takes me. You know, if it takes me to the peninsula, then I have to find a gym around here and start that shit over again.
Yeah.
Or I gotta try to get a job in the area.
But there is something cool to being, like, the dopest white belt on earth, in my opinion, you know? Because then you just go to the tournaments, you don't got nothing to worry about, you know? You got the technique, and then eventually the belt's going to come, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm the dopest white belt, but
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you have all this time.
As a white belt,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't feel like I'm a blue belt yet, but I don't know if I ever will feel like I'm
And
a
who
blue belt.
does, yeah.
When I got mine, I was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Are you sure I'm ready for this?
I'm pretty sure someone else is gonna have to tell me I'm a blue belt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. That's why you need somebody who's been there to see, like, where you're going and where you've been, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why you can't promote somebody above you, like, as a blue belt. Like, I can't promote you to a blue belt because I don't know what the fuck a blue belt
Yeah,
is
that makes
exactly,
sense.
you know?
That makes sense.
I would have to be a purple belt to nominate you, to promote you to blue
What
belt.
you went through
You
as
can
a
do
blue
that?
belt.
I think that's how it works, especially back when they didn't have like black belts everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you would have like a purple belt in the state, and that's it.
Yeah,
So
this,
like
this stuff's like relatively new, right? I've seen pictures of Helio wearing a blue belt.
they say that he wears a blue belt. He wore a blue belt because he got kind of pissed off that everybody was like obsessing over belts so much. He's all like, well, it's just a belt, you know. Like, if I put on a blue belt, it doesn't make my skill any less. And blue looks kind of cool in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know?
blue's dope, dude.
Yeah, I kinda want
I don't
people-
know what it is about the blue, but like it's my favorite one, I think.
Yeah, it's the coolest looking
Black belt's my favorite, but
Yeah.
but
But they say that's where everybody quits, is at blue. There's a blue belt curse, you know.
it's like 30-40% or something like that.
Yeah, there's a big drop off.
Yeah.
Well, it can't be more than people quit at white belt, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be.
No,
That's-
No, I think. I mean, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
That's got to be goddamn.
I guess it just works out like that.
right?
Yeah.
That the guys who go in there and get smashed like we're getting smashed, like I'm getting smashed right now, and then
Right.
say, you know, fuck this, I'm good.
Right. Yeah, blue
Yeah.
belt's like the first real step is like, oh, you're here now.
Yeah.
You're staying here
So
now.
you did it, yeah.
But then that's when people
Yeah.
freak out, you know?
Mhm.
And that's when people feel, from what I hear, that's when the upper belts, like the purple belts, the brown belts, and black belts, will actually start putting more pressure, real pressure on you
Mm.
during the roll. They won't be going easy on you. And then that new, like, no more safety, you know.
Right.
Safety.
Yeah.
I didn't really feel it. That's the Aerodyne bike. I didn't really feel a difference between how people rolled with me. It was probably mostly just in my own head. I was like, oh, now I can't let white belts tap me anymore, you know? But
they do, right? You still get tapped here and there, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get tapped by a white belt. I can't remember the last time, but it'll happen. You know, anybody can get tapped, you know? What was I going to say just now? Say something.
No, I think I've noticed as I've gotten a little bit better that I'm asking for more in return. Like I'm asking for more of their game.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know how it's going to be when I get to a blue belt, but like even purple belts and upper belts that I'm rolling with are having to give me more because like I'm defending a little better. I know like, oh, they're going for this. I know how to defend it. You know what I mean? Because I fucking lived here for a year.
Right.
I
remember.
Like I'm comfortable like in awful positions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, oh, I'd rather be here sometimes than be in mount because I've spent so little time in mount
Mm-hmm.
that like I'm way more comfortable sometimes.
You
It's
know
like
what to
on my
do.
back, which is not good, you know. But it's just like I think that's just where I need to get comfortable. We're really starting from the ground up in
Mhm.
jiu-jitsu. There is no other option.
Right.
So like sometimes somebody will have me in side control and they'll be smashing me, and I'm like, well, I can hang out here all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it sucks, but I could seriously hang out here all day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, do your worst. Like,
Yeah,
I'm hanging
that's
out.
a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
And
It's not a
You know.
position I want to be in, but I know how to handle myself there.
right,
Right. And that's crucial.
which is the point, right?
Yeah.
That's the point of being what?
Yeah. I was gonna
Am
say.
I right? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking.
Well, no, I mean that's how Saulo Ribeiro breaks it down in his book.
Yeah.
He says like first you got to learn how to survive, and then once you learn how to survive and be comfortable there, then you work on your escapes,
Okay,
then you
fuck
work on guard, then you work on sweeps,
Hell
then
yeah.
you work on dominant positions, then you work on submissions.
Damn.
That's how he builds it up in his book. Like each chapter, that's how he works it up. Yeah, you think you're gonna learn submissions first, but it doesn't make. Yeah, you gotta learn how to survive first.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that I don't think that that's a function of your belt color, how much pressure they're putting on you. It's a function of how your technique is developing. Because you just said that they're putting more and more pressure on you,
Mhm.
even though you're still a white belt.
Mhm.
It has nothing to do with the belt. It's about your technique
Totally.
and what you can handle.
Yeah.
The only difference in the belts is like sometimes people will open up different things. Like at blue belt, like wrist locks are available in competition. So then more people in the gym will do wrist locks on you.
I see that.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
wrist locking me like left and right right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
I'll
good
figure
thing
it
to
out.
learn because I always forget about that.
Yeah, I get a bad.
Wrist
I'll
locks
figure it
are
out at
everywhere.
your gym. I got wrist locked the first time I rolled with a guy there. It was a blue belt. Yeah, he was wrist locking me, and I was like, "You can wrist lock here?" And he was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "All right, well, I don't really know it, so like, just when you're doing it, you know, make sure I'm aware of it, so I'm
Yeah.
not,
And
so
that's
I
the
have
key.
time to tap, you know."
Mhm. Yeah, some brown belts sometimes will be like if they see a knee bar available, and I can't do knee bars at my level, but they'll be like, hey, can I go for the knee bar? I'm like, fucking go for it. It's fine with me.
Really?
Because I'll learn from it. 'Cause I'll learn. No, go for it, but the same thing.
I'm
Don't
sorry,
like
you're-
torque it or anything because
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what I'm doing. So like go slow, but go for it.
Just watching a knee bar after my knee injury, just
Oh, yeah,
watching
you
one,
got your
I
knee.
cringe, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, if I ever get to that point, it's gonna be a hurdle.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
I ever get to that point where I have to learn that.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
couple things I'm really.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. My wrist's been a little injured, so anybody plays with my wrist, but tap, that's it. Okay, I want to train tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cyrus, being kind of quiet. What do you think about?
Yes, I agree with everything.
Putting you on the spot. Sorry about that.
I mean, yeah, we learn more stuff as you progress through the belts, but I mean, I don't know what to say on that.
Okay, that's fine. I'll
They
just
don't-
cut this part out.
Can you do that? Have you been doing that?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, cut out the part of the very beginning with me.
I'll cut out a lot. I'll cut you out of the whole thing.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
when it comes to wrist locks, these other weapons that they have on the higher belts, I do see some of the blue belts, even the higher belts. I can see them think about it. I see them grab the position, and then it registers in their mind they can't do it, which throws me off because why I'm learning jiu-jitsu in the first place isn't for competition or anything like that. I just don't want to be caught in a situation
Yeah.
where someone tackles me to the ground and I don't know what to do. And if I have something else to my disposal, something that's so simple as just doing a wrist lock, which I'm assuming is just grabbing the wrist
Yeah.
and just
Seriously.
twerking it, that would be awesome to know. And I get the fact that white belts are still untrained and apparently spazzy, which I won't deny I've done before, but on the other note, on the other side of that is this whole idea of not giving us the full range of capability that we have.
Right. It gets into that sport versus functionality argument again. I mean, I've had some coaches like I was like a month in or something like that, and he was showing me some self-defense wrist locks. I was like, oh, thank you. Like I didn't even know that it was not allowed in sport. But it's like with the instructor, everybody does a different style,
And I think our
for the most part, people will just they won't like take advantage of you. It's not that they're not teaching you it. It's more that they don't want to be cheap to you because you're not allowed to. They assume most people are doing sport at our gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people even do catch and release, which means that they'll get it. I think that's what you're describing. Cool. Is that they'll get the wrist lock, for instance, but they won't actually try to tap you with it. Yeah. Be like, oh, it's here. Move on to the next thing, because that helps them train. Like, jump on it real quick and then move on. You were about to say something?
You gotta think too. I was just thinking as you guys were talking. It probably wrist locks and knee bars. They probably don't give those to white belts because it's not combative. Are you gonna knee bar somebody in a street fight?
Knee bar,
get
maybe
the fuck out of here. No way.
I can't.
Wrist lock? No, there's no way.
There's a wrist lock that you can do if somebody puts their hand on you.
Yeah, maybe if they don't yank it back fast enough.
Well, that's
you know
how
what I mean?
You trap it.
So like we're learning the stuff to actually
We're learning when it hits the ground.
Yeah, we're learning stuff that we can actually use in a street fight. You know what I mean? And then like the sport, some of the deeper sport jiu-jitsu stuff, like if you guys are real tied up, like in a knee bar or some funny stuff like that, is for higher belts who are really into sport. You know what I mean? Sport jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But I've taken a bunch of combative stuff, and it's very rare that we're gonna talk takedowns. We're gonna talk shifting our weight the right way so you can't get thrown around. We're gonna talk like taking on. You know what I mean? Somebody who's charging you.
Right.
But you start to get into some of the fancy stuff, like wrist locks, which I kind of consider as fancy, unless somebody, there's a real perfect scenario.
I wouldn't consider wrist locks fancy.
Really?
Maybe knee bar gets into the fancier. Yeah. But it's not even that super fancy. It's not like a Berimbolo or something like that. I mean, it's a.
And even like stuff like that, you know what I mean? I kind of see it that way. It's like, why teach? Why?
That's not really combative.
Yeah. Like the point of this is to fight someone. You know what I mean? And I just got married, so I always think to myself, dude, if there was like some crackhead that just like opened my door and tried to like fuck my wife, like it's my job to fight this guy. Mm-hmm. Like as men, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's our jobs to fight this person.
We'll lock your door too.
Yeah, for sure.
Why is he just opening the door?
You know what I mean? Isn't that does that freak you out a little bit? You know what I mean? That's literally our role.
That's the whole
walking around Earth.
If you look around my bed, there's a weapon in every corner. I'm ready to fucking go, dude. That's not even like. Like if I'm trapped in this corner, well, guess what? Like I just reach over here.
But that brings up another point, though, because is jiu-jitsu the best thing to prevent or for combat?
Fuck yeah.
I really. So if someone starts swinging on you, yes, you can go ahead and avoid it.
I just saw some YouTube video where this like master kung fu fighter. Some master kung fu fighter fought an MMA fighter who'd been retired for 10. He'd been retired for 10 years.
The old guy, the old kung fu master.
Yeah, he fought an old MMA fighter who'd been retired for like 15 years.
Oh, a young kung fu guy.
I don't know.
I remember an old kung fu guy getting destroyed
in like 10 seconds.
Oh my god.
Anyways, this guy who was a retired MMA fighter for 15 years, like literally hadn't trained in 10 to 15 years, kicked the shit out of this kung fu guy in 10 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's absolutely proven, tested, you know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing is that I've heard it argued that sport jiu-jitsu is taking it away from that though.
Yeah.
You know, because you're able to get into these weird positions that aren't functional in an actual street fight.
That's what I'm getting at.
And I've heard it argued that an MMA class is probably better off for you in self-defense than a pure jiu-jitsu class nowadays. Unless the jiu-jitsu is incorporating the ideas of too far, too close, distance management to manage the strikes as well.
And you tell them that too, right?
Combatives do, not sport jiu-jitsu.
They do that in your combatives?
Combatives is all about space.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like having
I would love to take something like that.
Like, if there's too much space, they're raining down.
Exactly.
If they're close enough, what are they going to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's how a lot of the other martial arts started out as effective forms of self-defense. But as they developed tournaments and they made it more artsy and this and that, it started drifting away from that. But there are still like traditional martial arts like Kempo karate and stuff like that are still good. Yeah. And now we're seeing Taekwondo being implemented in UFC.
Yeah, I have a good feeling about Taekwondo.
Karate too.
Karate,
like,
yeah.
Like
Lyoto Machida.
Yeah, that stuff works too if you Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
He's a karate guy, right?
Yeah.
Street Fighter. I can't remember if I began jiu-jitsu with the intent to just get exercise and kind of like learn to move a little bit, or if I really wanted to defend myself. I really can't remember. I know it's kind of drifting more into the self-defense. After I tried competing, I was like, I think I prefer the self-defense side of it.
Yeah.
It didn't feel right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was me.
Yeah, that's kind of. I started for sure for self-defense, and then the physicality, the physical activity was bonus.
What happened?
What are you guys laughing at?
No, that I was just hovering over trying to pick him up.
Exploring his dominance.
I wish we had a video.
Yeah.
It just shows you in the back just hovering over him for no reason. What was it? Yeah, I started with self-defense, and then like I did my first tournament because I figured it was a good way to simulate, not necessarily. I thought you were hovering over me for a second. I thought you were doing it again.
I just got everybody creeped out.
Yeah.
You have the Canon here. We could film it.
Yeah, we already started.
Okay.
Next one.
Okay.
I have the GoPro too, but I just didn't feel like setting it up.
Plus, we didn't clean this place up.
Yeah, I started with tournaments so I can simulate a pressure, not necessarily a street fight, but simulate a pressure.
There you go.
You know, so that's why one of the big reasons I keep doing it, because I don't necessarily like that. I don't like the competitive nature. I'm not very good at being competitive, so I'm trying to develop that competitive muscle at the same time. But the big thing is stress management and learning how to deal with that in the moment.
You're totally right. I had that same thought process.
You know,
somehow forgot it, but
so I figure that's the closest thing besides an MMA fight to a street fight. You know,
good point, man.
Yeah, or like a kickboxing fight.
Good point.
Yeah. But getting back to your thing in terms of jiu-jitsu's effectiveness, I think if it's an untrained person, jiu-jitsu is probably one of the more effective ones.
Yeah. But nowadays, is there any untrained people out there?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think of it this way, how big is MMA right now?
Yeah.
And the people who are cocky enough to get into a fight are either shit-faced or they're semi-confident in their fighting ability.
They hit a bag once.
They hit a bag once, maybe, but or could be that they've realized
confidence like overinflation or something, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, you won't see a guy start swinging immediately unless they have some reason in their head behind them actually succeeding in this fight.
But see, you're coming from the point of, like, you're an MMA fan. So your world is MMA fan, you know? So you don't. A lot of people don't watch it. A lot of people still, you know, just watch football or whatever. So a lot of people watch WWF. Didn't you go to WWE? And there was tons of people there, and a lot of people still think it's real.
Everybody knew every lyric and every word and everything. Yeah, it was unbelievable how many fans there were, like, who were still that into it. You know, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, and the pyrotechnics and all this crazy shit.
They made bank.
I think you're missing the point on this one. It's not that there's a ton of MMA fans overall. I'm just saying it's so influential that it's slowly poured into a lot of realms of exercise, general exercise. These Tabata classes, you got like Taibo.
Cardio kickboxing and stuff.
Exactly. Like so you got a lot of these things. Nick.
Man, Taibo can't fight.
It works, man.
My brother, he did kickboxing for a while, and he doesn't even think about MMA. He only likes basketball and things like that. So, I mean, a lot of these aspects have poured over into regular people's lives, and I feel...
But you know what, though? I think the more you do this, the less you want to fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, people who train...
But why?
I gotta think that... Because they're humbled on a daily basis. They know that they're not the shit because they're getting their asses handed to them.
And they know the risks.
And they know the risks involved, yeah.
But I do think that there's something right to what you're saying, Cyrus, is that it has poured into it more into the mainstream, but I don't know if it's enough to limit the effectability of jiu-jitsu.
Right.
I'm not
You
saying...
know what I mean?
I'm saying...
What's
it's not limiting the effectability.
Effectability? Is that a word?
I'm not sure.
Efficacy.
Efficacy.
Is efficacy a word?
Efficacy with F's.
That's a nice word.
But-
Thank you, brother.
Like if you get into kerfuffle with someone.
Really?
Huh?
Are you gerrymandering me?
No, it's she's figuring into kerfuffle.
Excuse me. You said something else the other day.
man?
A kerfuffle.
What is that?
It's like a
skirmish?
yeah, like a skirmish. Yeah.
You said something else that tripped me out, like in text message or something like that. I forgot what it was. Something like Elmer Fudd word or something.
I'm saying the only thing I was gonna say was you put someone who does kickboxing for most of his life. Then that even is like
Okay, so beginning.
I'm sorry. I can't get over the word kerfuffle. Is that a thing? I'm Googling that shit.
No, the only reason I noticed because some reporter asked Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
oh yeah.
He's like, what about that kerfuffle you got into?
Kerfuffle?
They were both like, the fuck?
Kerfuffle.
It's gotta be
Son
the
of a
number
bitch.
one thing on YouTube, Google right now because that reporter went on stuff.
Okay. A kerfuffle is a commotion or fuss, especially one caused by conflicting views. There was a kerfuffle over the championship.
See?
There you go.
Yeah.
Science. Sorry, Cyrus.
Oh yeah.
Kerfuffles.
So walk us through the scenario.
The scenario. So let's say you're a white belt in jiu-jitsu versus whatever the white belt equivalent of kickboxing would be. I feel like you can naturally pick up kickboxing or something like that because everyone's seen boxing in their life. They have a general idea of how to throw a punch, throw a kick.
I don't know if I agree with you.
Yeah,
You don't
I'm
agree?
surprised on that.
I was terrible when I started kickboxing. I had no idea. I just knew that you hit with the first two knuckles, and I learned that from Mr. Miyagi, and that's it. You know what I mean?
See,
I didn't know
I'm
anything
saying-
about
I'm
throwing
saying-
I didn't even know
kicks.
that till right now.
But like I said, the white belt equivalent. So you've gone to enough classes where you know
Okay.
how to throw a punch, you
Okay.
know how to throw a kick.
Yeah.
You're not the best.
Yeah.
But you take someone who's a white belt in jiu-jitsu, you put them in a ring together. Would you honestly say the white belt in jiu-jitsu is going to be the victor?
I can't say that ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would probably put money on the white belt in jiu-jitsu, depending
Really?
on who he is.
If I had to, yes.
It depends on the person too.
Yeah, there's way too many variables.
Yeah,
I never
but
manage that.
I would be inclined. Obviously, I'm biased because I've basically only trained jiu-jitsu, but I would be inclined to put the money on the jiu-jitsu guy.
See, that's the only thing is,
What is your argument? What are you saying? That
jiu-jitsu overall is meant for a ground game. The places that we're going to is not purely, but it's mostly geared towards competitive jiu-jitsu.
Sport.
So if it's something for self-defense, would jiu-jitsu be the correct answer to that? Just because
I think your mind would change, Cyrus,
Yeah.
if you took a few combatives classes.
I think his mind would change once he starts to actually see some improvement and a new white belt comes in and he rolls with that guy.
Fuck that whole
Because
world.
that changed
I've
my.
done that.
That
how many months have you trained?
Let's see.
like the first time I felt that level of dominance, I was like, "Holy shit! I am learning something." Like that was the first time I really felt like
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu
yeah.
was something
4 or 5
powerful.
months with a month and a half off.
Wait, October? No, that's not including the month and a half off. This is, since October.
So it's called 6 months.
So I'm still trying to understand exactly what you're saying. You're saying that you think that sport jiu-jitsu has made it so non-effective
In a kerfuffle.
in a kerfuffle.
I think the way that I saw jiu-jitsu was a way to do self-defense.
Yeah.
And it was also going to be great cardio and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
The problem I saw with that was
You're not sold.
I do see the benefits. If anyone took me to the ground and it was one of those situations, I would destroy them. Was it a white belt version of a kickboxer versus me? It's getting the person to the ground. That's the main problem.
I see what you're saying.
It's
Yeah.
closing that gap, and you can learn from
Yeah, but
that.
that'll
I think
never go away,
what Tony's saying is correct. Then your mind would change with more combative classes. Because at our gym, me and Cyrus train at the same gym. We don't do a lot of takedowns. You know what I mean? So I think I agree with Tony that your opinion would probably change if you did more takedowns.
Yeah.
If you want, there is a takedown class I might go to on Mondays. If you wanted to go down, it's half an hour away.
Where's
Talk
that?
about it later.
But yeah, that was the main thing. I do know that they do have certain things where they show you how to take down. I know they even draw upon some aspects of judo where that supplements it.
Yeah. I mean, we could settle this by watching UFC 1 if you want.
Oh, you mean the one with that Gracie?
Yes, sir.
See,
That's stupid.
With Hoist Gracie.
They can't keep shit going.
They had high-level Savat guys, and
were they high level or was it
that
just
guy was
something-
high level for sure.
What was he?
Yes, the Savat guy was high level, and Savat, whatever. Savat.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You put what's that asshole in the movies who does Aikido?
Oh, Steven Seagal?
Put Steven Seagal against Hickson and see what happens.
Oh, dude, that's not fair.
He'll rip his fucking
That's
head
not
right
fair.
off and throw it
Watch
at-
Choke. You can see some professionals go against Hickson. You know what I mean?
You never gone through the Gracie.
Gracie Combatives.
Grace.
No, what are the videos called?
Come back.
Gracie
The challenge-
Gracie in
the
action.
Gracie challenges.
No, it's Marcelo in action. Yeah, I know what you're talking
The
about.
challenges where
They did challenge fights with everybody.
So what I'm saying is high level, like talking black belts, things like that. You definitely see sort of dominance in some aspects. You saw, like you mentioned, the
I feel like you're pitching a new league to me. You're doing like a UFC, but really at the beginning, like you know how they did
white belt UFC.
exactly like the styles, like
White belt
how the first UFC was. How the first UFC was, except we're not taking black belts, we're doing it with white belts. You know,
Like, there's a reason all those fuckers aren't still in the UFC, and it isn't still the way it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like all the stuff that really works is now at the top.
yeah, like
You know what I mean?
kickboxing it works. That's why it's stuck
Kickboxing
around.
works, Yep.
You know, jiu-jitsu. The only thing was that in pure form, jiu-jitsu versus kickboxing, jiu-jitsu won out. That was the only thing that was proven in the UFC. But the best thing is a mix of all of them.
But was that truly the best of the best versus the best of the best?
So, yeah.
Would it
the
be
UFC
like putting in
rules.
Mike Tyson versus one
Well,
of these
listen,
dudes?
dude. I mean, there's still karate guys in the UFC. There's high level. You can be high level anything. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no,
Bruce Lee can be
totally.
in the UFC. But I'm saying the vast majority of fighters use the same like 4 styles: Muay Thai,
Yeah.
kickboxing,
You need to have some sort of
jiu-jitsu,
grappling.
wrestling.
You need to have some
Yeah.
sort of boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai type thing.
Yeah,
I mean, there is kind of a point to Cyrus's thing when you talk about Ronda Rousey, who's an excellent grappler, and then once somebody figured to keep her on the outside with kickboxing, it worked.
They
Right?
figured out she couldn't throw a punch. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
So-
there's something to that, but
Yeah.
And that's what's cool. Like we do have that aspect where MMA gyms make everything kind of wrapped all together in one. I mean, we even get taught, even at our kickboxing classes, the Muay Thai style of kickboxing, not the regular little karate kick style.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure if that's a normal thing or not.
we'd like to reiterate that we're white belts and we don't know shit about shit. Okay.
Disclosure.
I know nothing.
This is a full disclosure. We don't know what we're talking about, okay? And we know that.
We're figuring it the fuck
We
out.
know that, and we know if there's any black belts in the room, we would shut up and let them talk. But that's not the point of the podcast.
Yeah.
This is White Belt Radio.
And I think it's important-
4-on-1. We
No,
take out
I
that
think,
button.
We
I
would
think
not.
Cyrus is making a good point though, and then like, why the fuck are we doing this? Is it to be really good at sport jiu-jitsu? Is it to be Marcelo, or is it to be Hickson? You know what I mean?
Well, I would think the goal is Hickson.
Yeah.
That's what my heart says.
Yeah.
I don't know any of the other people.
That's actually that's what both my heart. I don't know. I can't describe it. I would love to be
Yeah.
Hickson, but being Marcelo is pretty damn cool too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's fun. Sport is just so fun too. You know.
No, I agree. It's a shame for like all these high-level jiu-jitsu athletes not to go down the road of sport jiu-jitsu and say, hey, where does this thing lead?
Yeah.
Where does this thing go?
It's
You know
too
what I mean?
fun not to do
Yeah.
it. Sorry.
How artistic and how can we make this? But it's important to remember that Barambolos are cool. Not that I can even do one.
Just don't do them in a street fight.
But
Unless
what
you
are we
do really
doing?
fast.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Those
In a
motherfuckers that
street
do
fight.
Berimbolo can probably get away with it in a street fight.
There was some YouTube videos.
Probably not advisable,
Yeah.
but you probably.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I wouldn't,
I wouldn't either.
but I don't have a good berimbolo, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't either.
Already over at Angler first. He's there ready.
Yeah. I think the duck under, like, I would try to keep it standing, maybe go to the back, get a rear naked choke.
That's
Probably my favorite description of how jiu-jitsu works is that your ultimate goal is the rear naked choke, because that's the choke that you can use effectively without any garments being involved, and you have probably the most dominance over them because you have the back. And anything else besides the rear naked choke is leading to the rear naked choke in a street fight situation. For instance, an arm bar is only there to take away one of their weapons, break their arm, so it's easier to get to their back to choke them out.
Right, because they'll probably still try and punch you after you break their arm. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's aggro guys out there who there's PCP'd out or whatever it is. that they can go through a broken arm. Nobody can withstand a properly applied rear naked choke because you're cutting off oxygenated blood to the brain.
That will end the fight.
That will end the fight, exactly. It can end their life, but it can end the fight too. Just, put them to sleep and that's it. That's probably my favorite description. The rear naked choke's the holy grail. So that should probably be your ultimate goal in a street fight in terms of jiu-jitsu.
There's the argument of multiple attackers. That's always...
Yeah, jiu-jitsu.
That's where jiu-jitsu falls off.
Yeah, for sure. Because you can distance management with kickboxing.
You can't sit in an arm bar.
You can't grapple with
somebody.
Yeah.
You got to throw mitts.
Unless you really know what you're doing. Yeah. That's probably the best way. Throw a couple mitts and then run the fuck out of there.
Okay, I got a question. If you guys were to pick a striking style, what would it be? What would you think would save your ass?
My inclination is Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Because it has the most weapons.
No question about it.
I mean, as far as what I know.
So would you train Muay Thai or would you go to boxing?
Muay Thai, no question.
If I had a choice?
Yeah.
Muay Thai.
Why wouldn't I throw a kick?
Yeah. I mean, based
Kickboxing has kicks.
based
You could do kickboxing.
based on what striking arts I know, which aren't that many, I would probably put Muay Thai at the top because you get your elbows in there too.
Yeah.
And then kickboxing second because you still got your kicks and punches, and then boxing a little bit lower because you're only using your hands. But there is value to developing all of them,
For sure.
Yeah,
Like we were saying earlier, like there's karate guys in the UFC.
yeah, karate.
There's
too.
not, they're far and few in between, and you're a special motherfucker if you can do that.
That karate's so cool. You
Yeah.
can jump in there and get out so quick.
But there isn't,
That Wonder
there
Boy
isn't a
Thompson
ton of
stuff.
guys doing karate. You got to be starting when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But here's the thing: you can't just use striking. You have to know some grappling
Mhm.
if you want to be complete, and you can't just do grappling. You have to know some striking to be complete.
Yeah.
You can specialize, but
Otherwise, you come around to Rousey.
you get Ronda Rousey.
Wham, wham.
Is there anyone in the UFC who's zero grappling abilities, but is just crazy good at slipping out of grappling situations?
There's a ton of guys. They like to call that anti-jiu-jitsu. Where it's just like you're not going for submissions, but you're defending submissions, and you're just trying to work to stand up to get back into your realm and fight standing up.
Like in bars.
There's a lot of guys like that. And then there's a lot of guys that do the opposite, like a Damian Maia, who's really developed his striking, and for a while he was just using his striking. I mean, he was trying to win with his striking, but he then went back to what brought him to the dance, which was grappling and jiu-jitsu. So now he just uses the striking, barely actually, but he just takes you down and just smothers you. But he has his striking ability too. So my point is that's his game plan. He's going to take you down, but he has a striking there just for some backup.
If you watch those Gracie challenge videos too, the only time that he's striking is to open up some room for submission.
Right.
Yeah. So he's sitting inside control or something. And he's throwing a couple elbows in there, or whatever the
Palm strikes.
the palm strike. But the guy goes to defend, turn away or something. Well, guess what? Now he has your back. Or
That's right.
yeah.
And
We don't really think about that when we're rolling, but that's probably how it would work.
Totally valuable, to be able to strike while using jiu-jitsu, and that's what it was developed for. Developed for street fight situations, and the whole point. That's why they always say position over submission, because position is going to give you the best chance to not only apply submissions, but to strike, to limit his striking and maximize your striking. That's why being on mount is so cool, because you can wind up and rain down on him, but he can't wind up because he's against the floor, and it's really hard for him to throw up at you. Exactly. Yeah.
Hands in the air.
So my question is, if I remember correctly, there was some Gracie guy maybe going back from the bars. Some dude tried to
Henzo. That's a great story.
Yeah,
He was doing a live Twitter update as it was happening.
What the hell is this?
And he takes the guy down, ends up
So
giving.
he tells a story on one of the Metamorphoses, but apparently I think he was leaving the gym or something like that, and a couple of guys, I think they were acting drunk and following him for a couple of blocks. They're like, "Hey, can I get a cigarette?" And Henzo kept saying, "I don't smoke," and stuff like that. And eventually they caught up to him or whatever, and they had no idea who they were messing with. He drops the first guy, I believe, and then the one guy runs off or something. He gets a hold of one of the guys, and he does what's called raccooning, apparently. And they were doing this in Brazil, where it's like he got him in a dominant position, and he started wailing on his eyes. Just on his eyes. No, I think he put him to sleep and then did that. Right? So when he woke up, his eyes were all swollen, and he couldn't see. So he calls it raccooning because he got two black eyes.
That is
Holy
the dirtiest.
Yeah.
I mean,
not only that,
he was coming to him.
he beat up this one guy. I think he let him go, But then he followed him because he knew that they were going to have a meetup point, and he found the other guy too. I forget what happened after that. But yeah, he did a whole live Twitter as it was happening. So there's two guys following me and stuff like that. Yeah.
I gotta see that.
Kenzo.
Why have I never seen this?
He has never live recording.
The body cam.
It was before. It was before they did like video on Twitter and stuff like that. But he was doing status updates. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, oh, there's two guys following me. Oh, they're asking for cigarettes or whatever it is. You know. Yeah, he tells the story on the Metamorphs that he fought on.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's the fucking point I'm making, man. It's our job to fight these fucking crazy assholes out there if it comes to it.
That's what Henzo was saying, was that like you were messing with me, but you were looking for a victim, so it could have been an old lady that you were messing with, you know what I mean? So that's why he felt that it was his duty to punish them.
Yeah.
You know, not just get away, but to punish them on top of it.
Yeah.
Henzo's so dope.
But here's my thing. So, are we learning only one aspect of jiu-jitsu and maybe something else that they know? Or they teach in more combative, I guess the Gracies or whatever schools in Brazil.
They do combative stuff for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
They have life
maybe they have something that bridges that gap that I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
And
Tony's
we're
gym
not
does
on
it.
The way
Tony's
that,
gym does that.
Yeah.
With the set.
Every Tuesday.
the way that the Gracie, the
belt system.
Henry and Hero, the way they do it is they don't have their beginner white belts roll. They're too prone to. Cyrus, listen. So they don't have the white belts roll because they're too prone to injury and they bounce too quick. So what they do is they call like live fighting simulation or some shit, and someone will put on some gloves, some 4 ounces, and they'll be doing the striking, not like trying to knock them hard, but they're supposed to learn how to block and move their hips and everything away from them. How to manage the space first. I think that's how I saw it.
They
Did
don't
you guys
do
see anything
white
like
belts?
that? Yeah, you guys didn't see anything like
I forget
this?
the details of it, but yeah, they do stuff
Yeah.
like that. And their first belt actually is like you get a white belt, and then the first stripe on the white belt is like a combatives belt or something like that.
That's what I do.
You guys do that too.
That's what I have it.
Yeah, your first stripe is what's the word?
All my stripes as a white belt are combative stripes.
All of them?
All of them, yeah.
Oh, so
when
you
I
don't,
test combatives. I don't test anything sport jiu-jitsu. I test takedowns.
so when you get to blue, then you start.
should know how to close space in a fight.
Yeah, so you
is the
have
point,
an
yeah.
upper hand on me. Like I got to learn that stuff. You know, I really like to train that
I
stuff.
mean, I'll be honest with you. I am obsessed with sport jiu-jitsu just because of how fun it is. So I've kind of stopped going to the combatives classes, and I just go to the sport jiu-jitsu classes. But you're right. I should get right back into that.
Yeah.
Start doing it. But yeah, when it comes testing time, it's all combatives.
Yeah. That's what the Gracies, what you were saying was that they do like an inverted pyramid where like or something like that. They want the base of what you learn in jiu-jitsu to be combative stuff.
Yeah, they
and
want
that's what
everyone
they
to try it at least. Try it.
Yeah. So if you quit in that first time, you learn the self-defense stuff first. Then once you get past that, then you get into the sports stuff, which I think is
Alright.
valuable. Because
I
you
think
don't
it's cool. I think
you
it's
don't
cool.
want your purple belts getting beat up on the street,
Yeah, if you're a black belt, you should be able to fuck someone up.
Yeah, there is also something to strategy too. Like if you don't train taking a weapon out of somebody's hand, you have to learn how to use the tools that you learn in jiu-jitsu to apply them to specific situations that you might not encounter on a regular day basis in jiu-jitsu. For instance, a black belt might know how to control somebody's hand, but they have to remember that they have to apply that technique when the person has a gun in their hand. That's their goal. They can't focus on anything else but that. And if they have their tactics in order like that, then their skills come in handy. But if you're just trying to do it like you do in the gym, then it's not going to work out for you. If you're trying to do berimbolos and shit like that. I don't know.
Never thought of that.
Like
never pictured a guy- yeah.
you're more well. Maybe I'm not saying that clearly. You're more well equipped to use tactics, but you have to know what tactics to use. Does that make sense? Right.
I think so.
All right. This sounds like we're about to wind it up. We're done now. Well, this has concluded the episode 3 of the White Belt Radio. We have Pete here.
Tony?
Cyrus? Yianni?
And that's it, motherfuckers. All right. Catch you next time. Hopefully we'll get it going on a weekly basis. Late.